Good morning, boys and girls. Here we are. We're going to be doing a look at the market watch, see who's the strongest and weakest currency, which are the movers and the shakers, and also the economic calendar so you can be aware of any times today. Now, I do this every morning for the squad, so any member of the squad gets to see this straight away. It's currently just before 7:15 in the morning, and it'll be up ready for them in a couple of minutes' time. And then publicly it gets released later. So if you want to see it in the moment and get yourselves prepared, do come along to the squad. So let's jump into this and have a quick look. So the biggest mover and shaker of the night was the JPY has moved up 4 points from its last data sample. And the euro is losing ground, but they're both middle road. So they're both sitting in a tight zone, which is here. Now, in some ways, you could think, well, that's good. It can move either way. But if you were pairing the euro and JP together, they're actually sitting on top of each other. They're buffing off each other. So they're not as good as what they look together. Okay, which is why you look at the bigger field. Now, the bigger field is the Australian dollar is the strongest currency currently. It hasn't moved off the top spot from the last data sample. And the Swissy is at the bottom. Now, it's moved down, and that's represented up here. Now, the market pick, for those who've never seen this before, is this side, this column here, is the strongest currency, the top three. And these are the weakest, the bottom three. And then it creates a grid where you can pair them out. So the Aussie Swissy is, in this sense, the furthest apart. I don't particularly trade it, so it's not something that I would look at. So what I do is I systematically work through what I will use, but it gives you a good idea of how the market is performing at this moment in time. Now, the Aussie, what you need to be aware of as well, it might be at the top of the tree, but it's starting to lose ground. Now, when that happens, its time at the top might be over. So it might look like it's the strongest, but what if it's at the top of its market? It then has to come in. So what I like to see with separation, and that's where two products are far apart, is them far apart. Because if they're going to continue, you've still got that continuation move today. But if they're at the end of the cycle, they can collapse in. So you've got a continuation and a mean reversion set up. Whereas if you're in the middle, which is here, you've only got a breakout. Okay, so it just gives you more opportunity. Now, what I do at this point is I have a list of products that I trade, which is currently 7 that I look at. I'm going to reduce that down into 5. I'm going to sort of remove pound JPY and euro JPY and replace it with some indices for no other reason that I like a tight basket. And I always used to like trading the DAX, and it's come back into play after sort of 18 months in the wilderness because it was so high you couldn't judge it. Now I've got levels above it, I can work it out. But let's go down through my list, see which one I'll be looking at today. So we've got euro dollar, which is here. It's not that bad, but pound dollar is better. There's a bigger separation because you've got the dollar up in the top section, you've got the pound in the bottom section. So at the moment, that is the best. Then you got pound JPY. Again, the US has further separation. Same principle with the euro. And then there. So out of the currencies, it's pound USD, which is what I'd be looking at today. And then if I'm looking to see an indices, again, what I look for is which is the stronger currency. And the stronger currency will force the indices into movement. Well, the stronger currency is the euro. The DAX is priced in euros. So I would look at the DAX before I would look at the pound. Okay, because I want strength going into the currency because that strength will ripple across. Now, from here, I'll take it over into the economic calendar. So we want to be on the 4th of August. Take on the filters. Take all of the low-level stuff out. I'll leave the medium on to just check, see if there's any CPI or PMI. There is a global PMI at 230 on the CAD. Not really that bothered about that one. It's mainly the US CPI and PMIs that I look for. Other than that, I'm not really fussed. The euro, occasionally. Not a great deal going on, but we do have the jolts coming in at 3 o'clock. So there's only really one time to be aware of today, and that is 3 o'clock on the US market. So if I'm trading cable, I'll be looking at it early morning. Started probably around between 9 and 10 o'clock this morning, and then just work my way through it till it is complete. So there you go. Do this every single morning. Subscribe to follow the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.